Good evening, I'm DK Rosner. Welcome back to the TTT News. It is time for part 2 of the Green Screen Film Festival wrap-up, and we're doing this with Celene Bassaw, Very Short Shorts Plant Your Roots category winner, Shelby Outar, a Very Short Shorts finalist, and a group of artists, recipients of the very small production grant, as well as Carver Bacchus, Green Screen Film Festival, and Very Short Shorts Festival founder and director. We say thank you all for joining, and I want to start with Celene, please, in terms of the Plant Your Roots category. Now, what was your piece about?
So my film was a short entitled Seed of Hope, and we basically personified the seed and the little plant to talk about her hopes and dreams of basically giving back to the world and the environment by cleansing the air and providing food and shelter and all of that. So the underlying theme of the video was to plant trees, and we gave the seed that emotional aspect to hopefully resonate better with the audience so that they can relate to the seed and hopefully go out there and plant some trees.
Hopefully, and hopefully it has that impact. And because I know there's a saying that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, the second best time to plant a tree is today. So hopefully, as you said, there is that impact. And I want to ask Shelby the same thing though. Shelby, a group of artists. Tell me about that group a little bit even before we get into your piece. Thank you.
Yes, so we are just about a little over a year old, so we're very young as a group. We are literally what we state ourselves to be, a group of artists with varying skills ranging from graphic design, film, costume design, etc. Performance backgrounds, very different artistic skills and a very wide set of skills. We came together with the idea of how about let's make a group where we could kind of support each other. I'm not good at editing, but you are. I'm good at costume design. Let's put these things together and do film. And it's exactly what we did. And the Green Screen Festival was actually first thing that we entered last year. So we decided to enter again this year. And of course, during the course of the year, we would have expanded, trying new things. And that's our group in a nutshell.
And Carver, I'll leaving you out for a little bit.
That's all right. No problem.
But when we start, we're going to finish it. I want to get back to Celene though, thanks. In the sense that what were some of the challenges? Because I asked earlier in the group that we did before in part 1, how easy is it to take this massive idea? I want to humanize a seed and I want to bring it down into a minute, so that I have a beginning, a middle, and an end that resonates with someone.
Right, so when you only have 1 minute to express your idea, every second counts. So from start to finish, we had to plan everything, make sure we got the message in there in that minute somehow. And like Shelby said, with a group of artists group, everybody brought something different to the table. So in my case, I wrote the script and it was my idea, whereas my co-director, Satish, he did the filming and the editing. And luckily, he lives in an area with a lot of trees, so that was actually filmed in his backyard, as far as I know. So that allowed us to film the video despite the challenge of COVID-19, preventing us from going out there in the public.
You find yourself fighting? Because I could imagine as one person say, okay, well, this is my idea, this is how I want to do it, let me do it. As opposed to saying, okay, well, Satish doesn't see it exactly the way I want it to, so we're trying to butt heads a little bit to see how we can come to an agreement. How was that process?
Well, luckily, we have been friends for years, so we work pretty well together. That's actually why I decided to ask him, because this is my second year participating in the Green Film Festival. So he is new to it, and I introduced him to it. So I asked him because I figured we would work well together, and we did. We did not have any complications as far as I know.
As far as you know, I like that. And I'll ask you the same question, Shelby. How does it, one, working amongst the team, yes, different things are brought to the table, but you also have different personalities, egos. How did you all traverse that terrain?
Yes, so I suppose it's kind of echoing Celene's points. We are a group of friends, so we've been working with each other prior on varying little projects in the theater itself and otherwise in school. So for us, it was just one person probably has an idea. They write the script and they'll be the director, and we try to feed as much ideas into that to kind of shape out whatever little prospect that we have for each project. We had various films actually making it into the finals, and throughout each process, it would be, if I have an idea, I'd write it out, and then I'd probably be the director, and I am the one making the final decisions on certain things, but we all chip in little ideas, or maybe this will make it stronger or whatnot. The thing for us is that we want to continue to think about the duality between the ephemeral nature of film itself. Film, you're gonna see it once, we wanna build the illusion, let them get the message, but also be creative at the same time. So we bounce our ideas off of each other. We have group meetings often. We solidify what we want to do, we plan it out, and we execute. And sometimes on the day, we might have an idea like, maybe we want to do this, maybe not. But we say, let's go with it, let's try it. And we never try to cut down each other. And that's the way we build. And that's how we've reached where we are right now.
That's very commendable, and we congratulate you for that, as well as the team. Now, Carver, it wouldn't do to not have you speak in the first half. But Shelby just spoke about having the team come together, plan, and implement. How do you feel about the film festival that just took place, finishing on the 2nd of November?
Well, I'm very encouraged by the response, As you would know, this was the first time that we did a virtual festival. It was the first time that we tried a lot of the things that we did in terms of the programming. We had, Facebook Lives, and we had talks about different issues and short films about different issues, obviously relevant to the environmental and sustainability space. And overall, I'm very happy. It was really a lot of, it was like it was like doing a course. You know what I mean? At first, you don't quite get it. At first, some of the concepts are going over your head, but eventually, we began to understand, where we were, and we're in this new epoch where, digital media really is the future. It has been for a while, but, we as a film festival needed to embrace it meaningfully, and I think that we did.
And with that in mind, we take a short break. When we return, we're speaking with Celene Bassaw, Shelby Outar, and Carver Bacchus. Wrapping up part 2 is the part 2 of the Green Screen Film Festival debriefing session on TTT. Stay with us.
Sully, I don't really want to touch you, You just drop your mask.
And that is just so beautiful to me. We are speaking about the Green Film or Green Screen Film Festival 2020. And Carver, I want to pull you in on this as the founder and director of the festival. What do you try to force people towards? Because some of the people that we spoke with in part one, they said they may not have been thinking as much about food sovereignty, about food security, even though they were part of the backyard gardening challenge. They have they've grown, they've started to grow things since the COVID-19 pandemic. One person actually said she's the child of a farmer, so that, I mean, that's par for the course. But are you trying to send the people along a way, along a route, and pushing them towards ahead in the things that you do for the festival?
Well, yeah, of course, you know. Our theme for the very short shorts competition this year was the new normal. And we tried to sort of focus people's thinking, focus competitors' thinking around several sort of pillars. One of them was food security, but also, you know, we included, you know, energy, transportation, technology. You know, these are things that we want people to think about, and we want people to sort of explore in the films, but explore in the films in the context of sort of some learning, you know, some examination, you know, because these are not things that perhaps before COVID-19 were really things that were discussed around the dinner table, you know, in Trinidad and Tobago. And part of what we're doing with these films are sort of bringing these issues into the main conversation, you know, hopefully trying to reach more people, having more people engage with the content, having more people participate in the competition, having more people see the films through our various partnerships and our various channels. But the idea is when people are exposed to these messages enough, they will start to share them, they will start to talk about it, they will start to, you know, have more honest discussions, you know, within their families and within their social networks. And once that starts to happen, then we believe that, you know, larger change is possible because people understand what the issues are, first of all.
And you talk about having people look at change, look at things, look at people. And with that in mind, Shelby, I want to pull you in because Celene already spoke about humanizing that seed and having it resonate with people. Now, I want you to tell me a little bit about what went into the piece that we just saw, because there are many things that I see in terms of, at first you only see the face of the person who thinks that, well, wait now, this fella dressed in black, this fella looking to run me down, what is really going on here? You only see his face, and the other person is not humanized. They are this possibly stereotype, this shadowy figure. And at the end of it, soldier, I really don't touch you, you know. I mean, that's how that. Take what was going through your mind and how do you all build that? And you just have a minute to deal with.
We pride ourselves in dampening our work in conscious creativity. So how do we speak to certain topics in a manner that reflects not only the theme and topic as is, but below the surface? So for that piece that you would have seen, besides the obvious mask wearing in itself, there is the fear of the COVID-19 virus manifesting itself in a person dressed in all black. You're not sure, you're seeing the person, you know it's there, but you don't really know who they are. And it's like the virus, right? How do we consciously yet creatively show certain things and topics? So for that, it's the fear, but it's also that kind of heart-wrenching, heart-beating, very pumped vibe where you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening? This kind of scattered feeling. The tactic for us is to continuously expand the topic and expand the dialogue. So not only mask wearing, what does that feel like for people? Does it feel like it's problematic? Does it feel like people chasing me down to do this? What are all the subconscious and all the taboo stuff that we aren't talking about surrounding these topics? And that's exactly how we tackle that piece in particular. as well as all our other pieces.
But Shelby, this raises the age-old question. Why when people are running from people, just choose the weirdest places to try to get away? I wouldn't ask you to answer that right now. What I will ask Celene to take me through is the type of equipment that you all were using to get your film done. Thank you.
So the green screen TT, their competition is based on 1-minute films filmed only on phones. So that makes it very easy for amateur filmmakers to participate in the competition, like myself and Satish, because we did not study film in UE. We don't have a career from filmmaking, and still we were able to participate. We just used a cell phone. It was Satish's cell phone, so I don't know the type exactly, but a cell phone, and he would have done his editing and whatnot on his laptop, I assume. And that was pretty much it. I did the voiceover using my phone, which was an iPhone 8 Plus, and using my headset. And that was pretty much all of the equipment that we needed.
And Carver, once again, I'm asking if there's a certain head that you're pushing, because Celene just spoke about we didn't go to school for this, but at the same time, we're using our phones and we're doing things. And that brings into question the larger context of so many more individuals being content creators on their platforms, their social media. How do you try to harness that to try to focus it?
Well, it was all about, figuring out a way to open up the festival to more people and sort of democratize, this access to the festival, and, figure out ways that, people who have an interest in film won't be excluded. Film on the one hand can be seen as very exclusive and very sort of, it's only this, creative community that can make film, and, that's for those people over there kind of thing, But the idea for the Very Short Shorts mobile film competition is to respond to that and say, no, making films or any creative endeavor is for anybody, and in particular, if you're making films to tell a story that, has an impact or touch point with every person in society, arguably everybody on the planet is touched in some way by environmental issues. So it was a sort of perfect mix for us,
I know Celene and Shelby, I want to get your handles. Thank you if people are interested in your work and want to see some more of what you're producing. And then I ask Carver a little bit more about the very, very small production grant. So Celene, how do people see what you're doing and remain up to date with your work?
Well, they can follow me on Instagram at celene.ab. And Satish has a new YouTube channel that he made. I don't know the name of it offhand though.
But when we follow you, we'll get the idea because you'll link us to it. And Shelby, I'll ask you the same thing, thank you. What is the handle, possibly personal or a group of artists?
Yes, so you can find us on Instagram as well as Facebook at A Group of Artists, or you could email us at A Group of Artists tt@gmail.com.
All right, thank you so much. A very, very small production grant. Carver, you have the final 30 seconds.
Sure, yeah, A Group of Artists really impressed us as a group of artists over the last couple of years. And I mean, while they didn't win a prize, I felt as though they had done enough work and showed enough creativity and the energy behind their collaboration that we wanted to work with them on something. And this grant will allow us to work with them on something. We're still trying to figure out what that content might be, but it's going to be shot with a mobile phone and it's going to be 1 minute and it's going to be exciting.
So we want to thank you all very much, Celene, Bassaw, Shelby, Outar, and Carver, Bacchus, for planting those seeds, for doing the work and taking it forward and just kind of showing us some of the things that we can achieve with cell phones and with 1 minute in terms of getting images and ideas across. And we want to thank you very much on behalf of the entire news team. I'm DK Roster. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.